Hello, it's Phillip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. This morning I'm looking at a book that's come to us from the Law Society, that's Law Society Publications. It's a book that will be known to quite a lot of practitioners because of the nature of the work that we're talking about. It's called Precedent Library for the General Practitioner. Pretty important title, that one. Well, what does it mean? Precedent Library for the General Practitioner. Well, it's giving you an idea of the precedents that are available when you're doing your actual paperwork with a particular case. This book is now in a third edition. It comes with a CD and it's been written by Martin Smith. It's an important book. As I say, it's a third edition, so we've had several now, and it's established itself in the marketplace legally as an important book. Now, Elizabeth and I have given it a title, The Precedents You Need for Your Practice, with attached CD-ROM, now in a new third edition, and that's what you're getting. Let's have a look at the book first of all. It's a hardback, red cover. It's in the drafting series from the Law Society. It includes the CD. That's the front cover anyway. Then you've got the spine, then you've got the back. Now there's quite a lot of detail on the back, basic information. There's the CD right on the back page. Right at the end there's no index. You can see there paragraph numbering throughout. This is miscellaneous section. You can see how the paragraph numbering is working from there. And then as we move forward to the beginning of the book, that's the actual front page. This is the list of other titles from the Law Society in this little series, the basic drafting series there. Then after that you've got basic information about the book. It's available, it was available originally in 2007, so it's basically 10 years old now, although this is dated 2016. And I'm recording this in early 2017. There's the contents section there. You can see a lot of detail in the contents section, which makes up for the fact that there is no index. You can see we're running through a lot. There are a total of 9 chapters covering substantive law areas and then miscellaneous at the back. Then there's a preface to the first edition, which Martin Smith wrote 10 years ago. Then the preface to the third edition, just updating everybody as to where we are today. Then it starts off with companies and partnerships. You've got a commentary at the front and a little structure of what's actually in the book. And then it runs through from there. You can see the way it's run. There are no footnotes as such. There are diagrams. You get various, that's actually an example, but you've got forms and various other things included. Total size of the book, 560, under 600 pages in any event. Excuse me. Now, what do we think about the book? Well, for the generalist practitioner and the specialist alike, the new edition of the Law Society's Precedent Library for the General Practitioner is a handy book to have and certainly will save you time. Indeed, you might call it indispensable, particularly if you or your assistants and colleagues tend to spend hours and hours looking up precedents in the library or online. Pretty sort of difficult and demoralising job to do sometimes, but it can be interesting, but it is actually quite tedious. So this book hopefully will help a little bit with the tedium. Note that this is now in its third edition, and it has been obviously around now for a bit. It's become much relied on in our view as a work of reference for practitioners under pressure. In fact, it's gone through 3 editions, attests to its popularity, and no wonder. I think it's useful again to have the CD-ROM to go with it, because that is a big time saver in the modern world, and we do need to have that. It's been written and compiled by Martin Smith, who heads his own law firm. It's a carefully selected bank of over 200 precedents which he's chosen, which in one handy volume cover an amazingly wide area of practice. The said areas of law which I'm going to list include companies and partnerships, conveyancing, employment and PI, personal injury, general civil litigation, landlord and tenant, matrimonial and family, wills and probate, and then there's a sort of miscellaneous bit at the end. The miscellaneous section, I said, covers name change, powers of attorney and application to the Court of Protection. You say Court of Appeal, Court of Protection. So you've got a really fairly wide coverage. As the Law Society also points out, this new edition contains fully updated chapters on company law, matrimonial law, the long form of prenuptial agreement, and common forms of execution of documents. There are also several new personal injury precedents, such as conditional fee agreements, CFAs, emergency fee agreements for pre-issue, and a bridging agreement. They're still with us and probably will be for a while, but at least we've got that information there. Now, using the CD-ROM attached to the back cover of the book will enable you to customise any of the precedents for your own requirements, and that's the beauty, of course, of this book. Very handy, much more economical than an expensive precedent library online, much of which you probably never use, and of course it's quite costly. There is an important caveat here, of course, for users of the volume. Obviously, this highly selective bank of precedents is intended to be helpful, and we would stress very helpful start for practitioners under pressure. But note that it is not restricted to precedents, which tend to be those that are used often. That is the difficulty with this. There is a limited range, in other words. The author is careful to point out that these precedents do not constitute legal advice. I think that's quite important, because some people will think, well, this is coming from the horse's mouth, as it were. It's basically guidance, and that's what this series is about. But wait, there's another excellent reason for getting this book, namely that each category of precedents begins with a section containing succinct yet quite detailed commentary aimed at providing a useful summary of the aspects of law it concerns. For example, let me just conclude on this. The section on companies and partnerships summarises the Companies Act 2016 and numerous other areas, from all companies and private companies to key shareholder benefits, annual general meetings, and more, including duties of directors and company and partnership documentation. Stressed throughout is the importance of having the right documentation in place at all stages of the legal process. Certainly the new third edition of this highly regarded work of reference should certainly be considered a must for your practice. The publication date is cited as at 2016, and as I say, this is an important book which I'm sure many people will know about and find very helpful. As I said before, don't think it's the be-all and the end-all, because it isn't, but it's got a lot of information in. Let's just look here. Cost schedules for summary assessment. Very important area, that one. I find as counsel, that's something I do need. I suspect barristers will find this book very helpful as well. That's just opening it up in the middle. Gives you an example. Letters to clients, for instance. A lot of this information is available. Just to remind you, that's the front cover there again, and then those are the other drafting series books. And I do think, whilst they are specific for solicitors, I'm sure barristers will find this very helpful as well. I'd like to thank Martin very much indeed for producing this work. I do think it's an excellent addition to any firm's law library, and the amount of work that goes into these books is substantial. And the Law Society team, who are Law Society Publishing, are, I think, to be thanked for producing work that makes our lives a lot easier. So a big thank you to all of you, and all the best for now. Bye-bye.